Hello and welcome. Welcome to our cluster advising orientation session for the social sciences. My name is Annalise Loffer. I'm one of the assistant directors at First Year Advising, and we're really excited to have you today to go over what to expect in cluster advising as you prepare for this transition. If you haven't already, please let us know that you're here by checking in via the QR code or clicking the link that's been provided in the Zoom chat. We also encourage you to update your Zoom name so that it reflects your first name, your last name, and ideally your major. When you are filling out the check-in form, make sure to check in that you are here for the social sciences cluster advising orientation. And then as a quick reminder, this session is being recorded. And so we do recommend that at least during the main session that you go ahead and keep your camera off and keep yourself muted so you don't actually end up in that recording. So what we're going to cover today, first, in this main session, we'll talk about what to expect in terms of the transition from first year advising to cluster advising. We'll find out what to expect from cluster advising. What kind of support will you get from your cluster advisors? How will you communicate with them, etc. And then we'll also have a panel where you can learn some insights from some of our experienced cluster advisors. We'll then shift for the second half of this meeting into breakout rooms where you'll have the opportunity to meet your cluster advising case team and actually get to know the advisors who will be supporting you next year. You'll also get a little bit more information about your major, so curricular highlights, helpful resources, and opportunities that are critical for you as a sophomore. You'll get a chance to get any questions you have answered by your new cluster advisors, and we'll make sure that you know some next steps to prepare for sophomore year. Before we do that, though, we wanted to just do a fun little introduction activity. So we know that this is an exciting and sometimes a little nerve-wracking time of year. So we wanted to just know, how are you feeling as you close out freshman year and prepare for sophomore year? So feel free to give us a little emoji in the Zoom chat. You can go to the react button and then you can pick a little emoji. All right, I'm seeing some excitement. Feeling ready, feeling a little kind of wowed, maybe overwhelmed, a little sad, shocked. Yep. So all the types of feelings that you might be feeling as you kind of digest the fact that your first year is already coming to its close and reflect on all the wins and challenges. And then also some excitement for maybe the summer, excitement for um, excitement for the transition and for getting to kind of dive deeper into your major as well. So thank you so much, everybody, for kind of humoring us with that and for letting us know how you're feeling. So for the past year, you have been supported by first year advising. You've had an assigned advisor in our first year advising office who has been your go-to for any advising related questions. But our continuing students, sophomore year through graduation, are supported through cluster advising. And that looks a little bit different than what it did in the first year. So today we're going to really go through what to expect and what differences you might see next year through graduation, compared to what you've had for this past year. A little bit about that experience and what's coming up. So the transition experience is what we call that transition from first year advising to cluster advising. And it actually already started. It started with your pre-registration advising appointment that you had in February, March, or April with your first year advisor. This is when we talked about kind of your goals, caught up on how this year has been going, and helped you make your fall plan in terms of what courses you should be registering for. Next up is this event right now, your cluster advising orientation, which is going to really go over what to expect in cluster advising and help you kind of also discover some sophomore year opportunities. We also have our One Dornsife Fest event, which is actually tomorrow from 3:30 to 5:30 in McCarthy Quad. And this is your opportunity to meet those new cluster advisors in person, ask them specific questions you might have related to yourself. Connect with USC and Dornsife resources, hang out with other freshman students, transfer students, faculty, alumni. And then finally, we have what is called our fond farewell and welcome. This is the official final step in your transition process. This will be happening around the end of that first week, start of second week in May. And this is when you officially transition from first year advising to cluster advising. You'll get a final email from your first year advisors and an announcement in Advise USC, kind of, thanking you for a great year and wishing you the best. And then you will get a warm welcome from your cluster advising team. And at that point, it will officially mark the transition. And going forward, if you have any advising related questions, you will work with your cluster advising team rather than your first year advisor. So like I said, again, we really hope to see you at our One Dorn Sci Fest tomorrow. This is an opportunity to connect with lots of different folks from other students, your cluster advisors, campus partners, faculty, alumni, transfer students, and more. We have in and out. We do Dorn Sci advising swag. You have a chance to win some cool raffle prizes. We normally have hundreds of students come out each year. So we really hope to see you there, and you can RSVP by either using the QR code on the screen in the Engage SC app or by using the link in the chat. With that, I'm going to pass it off to the cluster lead for social sciences, Miss Dolly Conferito, who will introduce herself and go over a little bit about what to expect.
Thanks so much, Annalise. I am Dala Confredo, the lead for the Social Sciences Cluster. And for Dorn Sci students in their second college year and beyond, academic advising is organized into specific focus areas within each major cluster. And each focus area has a team of dedicated academic advisors. This empowers us to deliver consistent support, shared expertise, and flexible advising access from sophomore year all the way through to graduation. The Social Sciences Cluster has two focus area case teams. The first is POIR and Spatial Sciences, with POIR standing for Political Science and International Relations. And the second is Economics and Sociology. On this screen is a list of each focus area and its majors. The POIR Spatial Sciences area includes majors in intelligence and cyber operations, international relations, global business, international relations and the global economy, and political science. It also includes Spatial Sciences Institute majors in geodesign, global geodesign, and human security and geospatial intelligence. The Economics Sociology area includes economics department majors in behavioral economics and psychology, economics and data science, economics, mathematics, political economy, and social sciences with an emphasis in economics. It also includes sociology department majors in health and human sciences, non-governmental organizations and social change, and sociology. And as cluster lead, I'll be directly supporting students who are undeclared in the social sciences. A handout detailing these focus areas and their programs is available to download in the Zoom chat. Now that we know more about cluster advising focus areas, let's take a closer look at how cluster advising differs from first year advising. In first year advising, one advisor advises for all Dorn Sci majors and minors. In cluster advising, an entire case team of academic advisors is available to support you in the majors and minors of your focus area. In first year advising, advisors specialize in curriculum, exploration, and opportunities specific to the first college year. In cluster advising, your case team specializes in major specific curriculum and opportunities available to sophomores, juniors, and seniors. In first year advising, students have the same advisor, even if majors change to a different Dorn Sci program. In cluster advising, the advising case team will change when changing to a major in a different focus area. And those with majors and or minors in multiple focus areas will be supported by multiple advising case teams. This means that in cluster advising, you'll always have an entire team of experts in your corner. These experts can help you further your understanding of major course options and policies, develop a personalized multi-year academic plan, add additional programs like majors, minors, and progressive degrees, connect with faculty and research in your major, explore opportunities beyond our University Park campus like study abroad and faculty-led offerings, engage with career preparation, utilize key resources for your academic, wellness, and personal goals, and help track your progress toward that important graduation finish line. After completion of your first year, you'll be able to see who your cluster advisors are by visiting Advise USC and scrolling down to your My Success Team list. Remember that you may have a variety of advisors if you have multiple programs, but descriptions will be on display for each success team member. Just read those descriptions to find your cluster advisor. One way to connect with a cluster advisor is by Advise USC support case. If you need information by a specific deadline, open a support case in advance, because opening multiple cases with multiple team members will slow response time. Only open one support case with one cluster advisor and allow up to 5 business days for a reply. Business days are Monday through Friday, excluding weekends and holidays. To open a support case with a member of your cluster team, navigate to Advise USC's Advisor Connect tab and click on the button Create a new Advise USC case. Then select Get Support from my current advisor. Next, specify the topic and subtopic of your query. Then select the member of your cluster advising team with whom you wish to connect. This particular list will not identify the case team to which an advisor belongs. So please reference the My Success Team section of Advise USC that we previously discussed. As a reminder, open one support case with one single cluster advisor. Opening multiple cases with multiple advisors requires those advisors to consult each other before responding, which can delay an advisor's response to you. Another way to connect with cluster advisors is by appointment. You can schedule that appointment with any member of your focus area case team through Advise USC's Advisor Connect tab. You can choose to meet with the same cluster advisor for the remainder of your Dorrance Life journey, or you can meet with any advisor whose availability best matches yours. Advisors will have access to the same information, including previous notes and course plans. So each team member is ready to support you. Depending on the number of degree units you have earned, you may have a mandatory advising restriction that requires you to consult a cluster advisor before registering for the next term. This restriction or hold will display in web registration. If this hold is present, schedule and complete a mandatory advising appointment with any member of your focus area case team in advance of your registration permit date. This ensures that you'll have an accurate course plan for the next semesters in your academic journey. Alrighty, back to you, Annalise. Oh, and we have one more slide. Never mind. One reminder again is to connect with us by checking Advise USC, and we actually will be posting reminders about various upcoming opportunities and deadlines to keep in mind in the recent announcements section of Advise USC. So make sure to always check that when you log in.
Great. Thank you so much, Dolly. And apologies there. I thought that I was unmuted. So my bad there. All right. So I wanted to actually invite not only Dolly back, but also some of our senior academic advisors who are going to help do a little Q&A session, a little panel with us. So right now, I'd like to invite any of you all who have questions. Keep these more general. We'll have opportunities to talk more specific questions about, say, your major or minor related questions in just a little bit when we go into breakout rooms. But if you have any general questions about cluster advising, I encourage you now to put them in the chat, either in the group chat or you can direct message me, and we'll just go ahead and get some our experienced advisors' insights. So I actually do have a question. Um, this is if I have a question about my major, is it really okay to meet with different people each time? Or am I going to have to re-explain everything that I've talked about before every time I meet with someone new?
Alrighty, I can take this one. So I think, as we mentioned a little bit briefly, that advisors on your case team will have access to all the advising notes, STARS reports, previous course plans that were created in Advise USC. So any member of your case team is ready to assist you with any questions that you might have. So you won't have to go into a deep recap of every single appointment that you've had in the past. We'll all have that information available to assist you.
Great. And then another question that we got, if a student is interested in participating in something like overseas studies, when should they start planning for that with a cluster advisor?
Hello, I can take that question.
Okay, then.
So, oh, sorry, Leo, where you going? Leon, sorry. Okay, so if you're planning on studying abroad, once you meet with any of us, we can actually start planning it now. And the reason for that is because some of your upper division major requirements, there are certain requirements that can only be taken abroad, so we want to make sure that we place those during the semester that you're planning on studying abroad, and so that you don't take those courses prior to that. Otherwise, it might make your scheduling a little bit more complicated. So to recap, just let us know as soon as you meet with us, and then we'll get that sorted out for you in your course plan.
Do you have any advice for students who are looking to get more involved or connected with like their academic departments?
So we will be covering a few resources for students when we review each major requirements or at the orientation slides for each cluster. So we can go over that during that time. But when you meet with us, you can let us know what you're interested in, and we can let you know the resources that we have in for each department. And the great thing about Advice USC is also that we can place referrals within Dornsife. So if you have any questions, we can refer you, for example, to Dornsife Career Pathways, to overseas studies. And we also know the best tricks for getting in contact with others. So just feel free to reach out either by booking an appointment or opening a support case, and we'll get you sorted out with that information.
Great. This is feel free for multiple of you to answer this one, but is there any like resource or office on campus that you think is especially important for students to connect with as they start their sophomore year or to know about?
I think one of the most important offices is a faculty member's office, right? So as you take courses in your major, especially as you get into those sophomore level, junior level, really major key core courses, get to know your faculty. Your faculty will know alumni, for example, and how they have carved their professional path after graduating from USC. They'll know possibly some internship opportunities or maybe upper division electives that might support your specific professional and academic interests. So use those office hours. They're there for a reason. They are paid to sit in their offices and wait for you to ask them questions. But an additional office to consider too, as you start to broaden your dive into your major, are career-centered resources. So that could be the USC Career Center as well as Dorsey's Career Pathways office. Those people are very knowledgeable in different ways to support you as you prepare for the world of work outside of USC, but even for websites are really wonderful treasure troves of important information, giving examples for again, pathways after graduation, ideas for how to apply your major, and even things like what are some key career highlights that I should try and strive for in sophomore, junior, or senior year.
Does anyone else want to add anything? Any other offices or resources that you think are particularly useful?
So another thing is, I think you all should all know where your advisors' offices are. So we'll let you know exactly where you are located, as well as department offices for your major as well.
All right. So it looks like that's our questions. Again, if you have any other questions, we're going to have an opportunity to ask them once we get into our breakout rooms, specifically with your cluster advising team. So I'll go ahead and change this. One second. There we go. All right. So with that, we're going to go ahead and jump into breakout rooms in just a few seconds. Rooms will be opening shortly. Breakout room one will be for POIR and then spatial sciences. And breakout room two for economics and sociology. If you don't remember which area your major falls under, feel free to stay back for a couple of seconds in this session, and I will help get you to the right place. If you happen to be joining us from one of the undeclared social science majors, then we recommend just going to whichever breakout room you're most interested in learning about today, because again, you'll be working specifically with our cluster lead, Dolly, until you officially declare a major. So we'll go ahead and open the breakout rooms, and feel free to use the breakout room button at the bottom of your Zoom screen to move yourself. If you're having any issues moving yourself, please let me know, or you are unsure where to move to, and I will go ahead and help.
All right, so thank you for joining us today. You can go ahead and go to the next slide. If you didn't check in earlier, please make sure that you do that now. Let us know you're here. You can scan the QR code on the screen just to let us know. You don't need to sign in again if you've already done that in the main session. So if needed, make sure that you update your Zoom name. And now I'd like to pass it off over to and introduce our cluster advising case team.
Alrighty, well, first off, congratulations on reaching the freshman year finish line. On behalf of the entire Political Science, International Relations, and Spatial Sciences team, which includes advisors Catherine Bampoki, Edwin Chang, Jennifer Garcia, and Anna Lopez, we look forward to welcoming you to sophomore year. Joining our breakout session today are advisors Anna and Kathy. Anna, would you like to say hello?
Yes, hello everyone. We're so excited that you joined us today, and we're looking forward to meeting you all. I've been at USC for 2 years now, a little bit over 2 years, and I've had the pleasure of working with students, sophomores through seniors throughout my time in POIR specifically. And so I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you as you all continue your undergraduate career at USC.
Great. And Kathy, would you like to say hello too? Kathy, I think you're on mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Sorry. Hi, everyone. My name is Kathy Bampuki. I have been working at USC for 4 years, 4.5 years now, and I've been an advisor for 3 years. And I'm really, congratulations on completing your first year at USC, and I look forward to working with you all.
Great. Now, cluster advisors are located on the third floor of the Dr. Joseph Medicine Crow Center, or DMC, in either Suite 326 or 327. To get to that third floor, you could take the stairs or take the elevator in the library located in the center section of the DMC building, then take 2 left turns to get to the hallway where our offices are. Beginning this summer, cluster advisors can be reached via in-person appointments, online Zoom appointments, or Advise USC support case. To connect with us on Advise USC, you can do that by going to the Advisor Connect tab, scrolling down to the My Success team, and finding advisors with the notation POIR, Spatial Sciences, Undergraduate Advising. When you need help, choose any one member of our team, and schedule an advising appointment or open that support case. For mandatory advising appointments, select topics undergraduate advice and mandatory advisement. For other appointments, select any topic that fits your needs. For support cases, again, allow about 5 business days for responses. And when replying to something maybe your advisor wrote in that case, tag your advisor with the @ symbol followed by their first and last names. This alerts that advisor of your post. Now, advisors will also reach out to you in Advise USC. We might open support cases with you, inviting you to respond. Also, as we mentioned in the main session, check the recent announcements section on Advise USC's homepage for our important reminders and upcoming opportunities. And in the Advising Note tab, view our notes about any completed appointments that we did together, course plans that we created with you, and more. Now, all team members are ready to support you in any major or minor offered by international relations, political science, and the Spatial Sciences Institute. This includes majors in intelligence and cyber operations, international relations, global business, international relations and the global economy, and the international relations minor. Additionally, we advise for the political science major and minors in political science, human rights, law and society, practical politics, and race, ethnicity, and politics. We also specialize in supporting Spatial Sciences Institute majors in geodesign, global geodesign, and human security and geospatial intelligence, as well as some minors in human security and geospatial intelligence again, GIS and sustainability science, and spatial studies. Now, for a deeper dive into majors, I will hand the mic over to Anna.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the IR, IRGE, IRGB, and INCO majors. So glad to know that you're all here. I know that it's very exciting to select your course plan and register for courses for the upcoming term, and that you all probably have questions about what courses you should be taking your sophomore year. So here we have a recap of courses that you can consider for all the majors that I've listed. And so we recommend that students complete lower division requirements by the end of senior year. For IR, that includes IR 210, IR 211, IR 212, and IR 213. And we've highlighted the foreign language requirement because we highly recommend that you start taking your foreign language requirement by the beginning of your sophomore year. And the reason for that is because sometimes students wait until the last minute because they believe that they can be waived out of the foreign language requirement. And oftentimes that does not go as planned. And that causes issues with graduation. So it's highly recommended that you begin your foreign language requirement. And as a reminder, if you have any prior experience in a language, you do have to take the foreign language placement exam. There is a test coming up in May. So if you're planning on taking that foreign language placement exam, make sure that you register for that. For our IRGB and IRGE majors, we highly recommend that you enroll in IR 210, either Math 118 or Math 125, and Econ 203 and 205. And for our INCO majors, we highly recommend that you register for IR 210, IR 213, or Econ 203, 205, as well as TAC 125, and either TAC 115 or TAC 116. For all of these majors, you'll notice that IR 210 is a lower div that all of our majors have to take. And IR 210 is one of the courses that, although it is not a prerequisite for IR upper division courses, we highly recommend that you take that prior to taking IR upper division courses. The reason for that is because IR 210 provides the foundational skills and knowledge in order for you to succeed in IR upper division courses. So Besides taking those lower division courses, you can look into taking upper division courses for the majors. For our IR students, you can look into satisfying the IR fields, as well as regional courses and any other IR upper division electives that you need to satisfy for your major. For our IRGB students, you can consider taking Accounting 410, as well as any other regional and IR upper division courses that you need to satisfy. And you can consider beginning your business track concentration. And your business track concentration requires 4 courses. For our IRGE students, you can start considering registering for your core skills courses, which includes Econ 303, Econ 305, Econ 317, and IR 330. Please note that these core skills courses in Econ do have prerequisites. It could be a combination of Math 118 or Math 125 and Econ 203 and Econ 205. So it's important to be taking those prerequisites prior to enrolling in upper division courses. For our INCO students, there are several upper division courses in IR that you can take, as well as TAC courses that you can start satisfying. An important note about our upper division courses in IR specifically is that IR 304 and IR 320 do require D clearance. And the great part about being an INCO student is that our INCO juniors and seniors receive priority for 304 and 320. And I wanted to highlight these because we always get questions from our sophomores about receiving D clearance for IR 304 and IR 320. You're more than welcome to fill out the D clearance form, but please note that there might be a chance that you won't be able to register for those courses, but you will be able to register for these courses by the time you graduate. So please don't worry, and we can plan that out in your course plan. Now, in terms of resources and opportunities, there are several that you can consider. So there is the Delta Phi Epsilon Foreign Service Society. This is a co-ed foreign service society that focuses on professional development for students, and it also focuses on humanitarian service. For our students in our majors, we do also offer departmental honors. And this means that students with a USC and major GPA at or above a 3.5 that are interested in research and graduating with honors can apply to the departmental honors program. And if accepted, this is a years-long program that will require that students register for 2 courses in the fall and the spring semester of their senior year. And it will require that students complete a thesis, and that's what you will be working on throughout your senior year. The applications will open the spring semester of your junior year. So keep that in mind as you're making progression towards your major courses. There's also Glimpse from the Globe, which is an online student-run publication providing analysis of international affairs. And our students are actually involved in this and have published publications. In terms of undergraduate funding, POIR does offer scholarship for students in IR and political science. If you're interested in learning more about it, once you receive these slides, please click on the hyperlink and you'll be able to explore the options that you have. For our majors, we also allow students to satisfy major requirements and while completing an internship. And for our IR students, that would be IR 391, which can be 2 to 4 units that you can take during the semester. And there's an option to take that during the summer through the Brussels program. So if you have an internship, we can discuss this later on as you all meet with us and inform you on how you can register for IR 391. And the great thing about the PIR department is that they do provide experiences for students. So that includes the IR Brussels Summer Internship Program, the IR Paris Summer Research Program. And for both of these courses, you can earn IR Upper Division elective credit. Uh, all we also allow students to study abroad. So again, as I mentioned earlier, you're really interested in studying abroad, we can discuss this so that we can plan ahead and ensure that you have the ability to study abroad. And generally, students study abroad their junior year. But if you want to study abroad a little bit earlier or potentially into your senior year, we can discuss that as well. And PIR also offers Maymester courses. We've had students in Latin America, for example, and in other countries, and you can also receive major credit by attending those Maymester courses.
Great. Thanks so much. All right. Now, here is some information about sophomore year with political science. The 40-unit political science major combines the study of political institutions with examination of public attitudes, participation, and behavior. To get you started in the first year, you probably completed as many as 3 courses in political science, 100, 110, 120, or 130. And these courses provide a foundation for deeper explorations that you'll make in specific fields within the political science arena. So as you launch your sophomore year, think about all the different course options available in the 4 distribution fields of American politics, comparative politics, law and public policy, and political thought, and see which ones you wish to learn more about. You will need to complete 1 course in 3 of these distribution areas. Please note that no more than 1 200-level course can count toward a distribution field. Now, learning also extends beyond the traditional classroom through a plethora of different resources and opportunities. This includes departmental honors for those who are eligible and interested, the Center for the Political Future, which hosts events throughout the year with a variety of distinguished speakers. And that center is also home of the Unruh Institute of Politics, which helps students connect with internships, research, campus organizations like Vote SC and the USC Political Union, and more. We also have options to study beyond Los Angeles with overseas studies, problems without passports, and the spring semester in DC program. There's our trial advocacy program, which you might have heard about, where students train with skilled trial attorneys to compete on the American Mock Trial Association circuit. And there's also unique funding opportunities, which Anna already mentioned, that you can check out on the department's website. All right, next up is Kathy with information about the Spatial Sciences Institute.
All right, so I will be walking you through what your sophomore year will look like as a spatial sciences student. Big picture, sophomore year is when things start to feel more real. You are moving beyond the basics and actually starting to apply what you've learned to real-world topics. Before we dive in, we do have sample course plans available through Dornsife Advising, so I highly recommend checking those out later to see how everything fits together. One really important thing to keep in mind for our spatial sciences majors is course sequencing. A lot of your classes build on each other and many are only offered once a year, so planning ahead matters. That said, if something doesn't go according to plan, don't panic. That's what we are here for. You can always meet with one of us and we'll help you figure out alternatives if needed. By the end of your freshman year, most of you will have completed your foundational courses, things like SSI 201 and SSI 381, along with your intro quantitative courses like Math 114 and Econ 203. Starting sophomore year, things get more interesting because you begin branching out into other disciplines. For example, if you are in geodesign or global geodesign, you'll take courses in architecture and planning like ARC 203 and ARC 303, where you start thinking about how spaces are designed and experienced. You may also take courses like RED 417 or PPD 227, which connect to real estate and urban planning. If you are in human security and geospatial intelligence, you will also take courses at the Price School like PPD 225, where you start connecting spatial data to policy and decision making. At the same time, you will continue building your spatial sciences skills with more advanced courses. For geodesign and global geodesign students, that might include classes like spatial analytics or sustainability science in the city. For human security students, you might take courses on natural hazards, drone-based data collection, or spatial analytics. One really exciting part, especially for global geodesign students, is that in the spring of your sophomore year, you will complete SSCI 350, which is a Master course abroad. You will travel internationally and work on real geodesign projects. So it's honestly one of the highlights of the program and a really unique experience. Now, beyond the classroom, SSI offers a lot of opportunities to help you apply what you're learning and build your experience. One of the most popular is SC Mappers. It's a student organization where you work on real-world mapping projects, things like disaster response mapping or community-based projects. It's a great way to get hands-on experience and build your resume. Also, the Human Security and Geospatial Intelligence major recently launched a new student organization called NatSec, National Security Club. Since it's very new, there is not much information yet about upcoming activities, but it is something to keep an eye on. There are also research opportunities where you can work directly with faculty on projects, things like urban sustainability, food insecurity, or public health. These are great if you are thinking about grad school or just want deeper experience. We also offer internships through SSCI 397. These are full-credit internships with organizations like ESRI or ESRI, NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab, and local agencies. They typically require about 10 hours a week and some background in GIS. And they're a great way to start building your professional network. You will also have opportunities to attend conferences like the LA Geospatial Summit. These are great for networking, learning about what's happening in the field, and sometimes even presenting your own work. And finally, for students who are really engaged and doing well academically, there is the option to graduate with departmental honors. This involves maintaining a strong GPA and either doing research or taking on leadership roles within the department. So I know this is a lot of information, but the main takeaway is this. Sophomore year is where things start to come together. You're building skills, exploring different fields, and starting to think about how you want to use this degree. And again, you don't have to figure it all out on your own. That's what we are here for.
Thanks so much, Kathy. So now that you've met your cluster advisors and learned a bit more about opportunities in your major department, let's review some next steps before jumping into the Q&A. First, make sure to register for the One Dornsife Fest. If you haven't already, I'll go ahead and put that link in the chat. The QR code is also on the screen. This event is happening tomorrow, and it's our biggest event of the year. So join us for in and out, for Dornsife swag, for raffle prizes, and an opportunity to connect with campus partners as well, with faculty, alums, and fellow students. This is also your first opportunity to connect with your cluster advising case team in person. So again, RSVP by the link in the chat. Or if you have the Engage SC app, you can log into the app and then scan the QR code that's on this slide. Next, check your USC email on May 4th for your final First Year Insider. That's our first year advising newsletter. This will have some important transition-related reminders, links to the recording of today's session, and then also other useful resources to prepare for your sophomore year. As the semester comes to a close, look out for an email and an Advise USC announcement from your first year advisor. They'll send you a final kind of fond farewell. And then shortly after that, you'll get a welcome email from your welcome email and Advise USC announcement from your cluster advising case team as well. And you'll officially start working with your cluster advisors from that day until graduation. And then the transition experience will be complete at that point. All right, so before we get to your questions that you have, please take a quick minute to share your feedback about today's session. Responses are anonymous, and so they really do help us improve how we support future students. So if you could take a moment to do that, we would greatly, greatly appreciate it. And at this point, I will go ahead and stop the recording.